Hello, I'm Lenny Rudo from Saltwater Sportsman Magazine. We're here today in beautiful Ocean City, Maryland to test the Renegade 2740, Glacier Bay's newest boat. Check out how it's a cross between a fish boat and a cruise boat, has the amenities for both. And we'll go through it bit by bit, detail by detail, so you can see how this boat comes together. Come on up to the bow, let's check that out first. Come on up here and check this out, folks. This is something that everybody looking at a boat should always do. You want to open up the anchor locker, stick your head right inside of there. One of the first things I notice here is a backing strip that goes all the way around the hull to deck joint on this boat. We got the gas assist strut on the hatch, that's nice too. And note how it's fully finished on both sides. That's a result of resin transfer molding. Very important detail to look for on modern boats because it provides you with a hatch that's fully finished on both sides, is very light, and is very strong. So RTM is really good. So we got lounging room here for 4 people right up in the bow. Now if you look at a boat of this size, it's a mono hull that is this same exact design. It won't be nearly as roomy up front. Don't take my word for it, look for yourself, you'll see. And of course, one of the additional benefits that gives you is the ability to build in things like this fish box. Again, we have an RTM hatch, we have a gas assist strut, and it's insulated so you can put your catch of the day in there. Let's move on back in the boat now. We got a nice stowage compartment down here under the helm. Plenty of space in there, and it gives you access to the back of this nice big electronics flat. You got plenty of room for a nice big unit right there. And on the port side, we got a walk-in head. On this boat, since you have one of the hulls right underneath of the head, you can actually step down. You can see there's actual headroom. Fixed head right here. It's got a port. Shoot, it even has a solar vent over there. One of the nice things about a boat designed like this to kind of split the difference between cruising and family time and your fishing time is you get this big giant L seat. Look at this. Oh boy, you can really stretch out here. If you're trolling, you can even stretch out this way and watch your baits. And with all this seating, you get space for a real nice fish box right under here. Plenty of capacity. You can see again it's an RTM hatch. It's got the gas assist strut and it dogs down nice and solid right there. Now, whatever you do in your boat, I don't care if you're fishing or water skiing or what, you never can find a trash can when you need one, right? Well, they got a trash can right here. You have your sink right here. It's got a cutting board on top, so you can cut your lemons right there, right? Right here it's got a live well. It's a relatively small well, and it has an overflow valve instead of a standpipe. That overflow is much, much better way to design that. Happy to see they did it. Down here we have stowage drawers for your tackle, and you have a raw water quick disconnect washdown right here. Even with all the family amenities, we still got plenty of fishing space back here in the cockpit. Got a pair of gunnel mount rod holders, got little grill plugs right there if you want to put the grill out, and you even have a couple more fish boxes right here in the deck. Again, they're on gas assist struts, RTM hatches, nice and smooth. And in the back, for when you're cruising, you have a pair of jump seats. These things are pretty slick. Get a couple extra seats on the boat that way. When you're ready to fish, just swing them right out of the way. Piece of cake. Nice transom gate back here that takes you out onto the swim platform if you want to go that way. There's a fold-out swim ladder hidden underneath of that hatch. So when you're ready to go swimming, you don't have to haul an extra ladder, nothing like that, just swing her out. Well, those are the highlights of the Glacier Bay Renegade 2740. Of course, this boat's a cat, and as we know, the strongest suit about cats is their ability to run through rough weather. Now, in case you haven't heard the wind whistling today, it's blowing 15 to 20. Well, guess what? We're going to go take her for a run outside the inlet.
The opinions expressed in the video you are about to see are solely those of BoatTest.com and its test captain.
Glacier Bay set out to make a new ergonomically comfortable 27-footer, and they called it the Renegade 2740. For BoatTest.com, I'm Captain Steve. We're going to put it through a full test today and see how she handles on the water. The Glacier Bay Renegade 2740 had a length overall of 26 feet 6 inches, a beam of 8 feet 9 inches, and a draft of 18 inches. With twin 150 Yamahas on board, her empty weight was 6,400 pounds, and had 90 gallons of fuel and one person for testing, we had a test weight of just under 7,200 pounds. Our top speed was 40.1 miles an hour, reached at 5,500 RPM, and at that speed we were burning 30 gallons an hour, or 1.34 miles per gallon. That gave us a range of 217 miles. For best cruise, I'm of the opinion that 3,500 gives us the best mix of speed and range. We had 24 miles per hour while burning 11.1 gallons per hour, or 2.17 miles per gallon. That gave us a range of 352 miles. Our time to plane was 4 seconds, and our time to reach 30 miles an hour was only 7.4 seconds. Let's talk about handling on the 2740, starting with a head sea. We were going through about 3-foot swells out there, and we were launching right up over them and really getting some good air under us. But even though we were getting airborne, coming back down, very gentle. It hits stern first and then just presses down at the bow. So it's a very gentle re-entry. It was actually quite comfortable, and as it turned out, the faster we went, the more comfortable it got. Now, coming around to a following sea, putting those waves behind us, again, very comfortable. We're not getting any air. We're just going right over one wave and through the next. Very important though, you need to give it a little bit of up trim. You want that bow high so that you meet that forward wave and get up and over it instead of go through it and throw water all over the place. Now, what was unexpected on the beam sea, I thought we would be listing side to side, but we weren't. We were just staying nice and stable, solid. It was very impressive. So doing a hole shot, there's about a 15-degree bow rise, but you're sitting fairly high in the saddle, so you don't lose any visibility, even when sitting down. Certainly when standing up, zero. Now you can trim the 2740 either individually or simultaneously. But I gotta tell you, trim is not so much a factor of performance as it is handling. You're not gonna find that you need to trim the boat for better performance, better handling characteristics. You wanna get that bow up, so you're gonna trim it up. In a beam sea, you wanna trim up that upwind engine to keep you leaning into the wind a little bit. That's it. This boat also has the optional power assist steering, so it's just a very gentle control. Great option to have. Well, that's our look at the Glacier Bay Renegade 2740. For BoatTest.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.
The opinions expressed in the video you are about to see are solely those of BoatTest.com and its test captain.
Today I'm on the Glacier Bay Renegade 2740. Glacier Bay has gone ahead and designed this boat to be more ergonomic. Let's take a look and see the details and see how they've done. For BoatTest.com, I'm Captain Steve. With the new design focusing on ergonomics, you can clearly see that there's ample room for fishing or bringing the whole family on board. And it's important to note that all of the 2740's components, the seats, consoles, rigging station, they're all molded in, not bolted in, or worse, glued in. Starting at the stern of the boat, transom walk-through door, held in position by a magnetic latch. The opening, 23.5 inches, nice beefy rails to either side, 26 inches apart. We should get good maneuverability out of these engines being 43 inches apart. Now the aft jump seats that Glacier Bay installed, in this instance, a couple of snaps of the bolster, and that's it. Putting away just as easily. These side hatches reveal the fuel filter and water separators. Have them on both sides, and it's important to note that catamarans are really great for having redundancy. You've got two outboard engines that are connected to separate fuel systems and separate electrical systems. Now, the mark of any good offshore seaboat is how well it handles water that you might happen to ship aboard. If you picture this boat crashing through a wave and the water coming right over the bow, it's going to come right down this step from the bow area and drain automatically. Then it gets into the cockpit area where you've got two corners. There are scuppers in both of those corners, and then any water that continues on back will be taken care of in short order by 1, 2, 3, 4 more scuppers at the aft end of the cockpit. And you really have to love that Glacier Bay went ahead and outfitted this area with Corian countertops. This prep station not only provides ample storage, but an ideal workstation for a boat of this size. Here's a great idea. A refrigerated drawer. Great place for putting your condiments, salads, because we're having fish tonight cooked on our optional gas grill. And when I say they made the Renegade 2740 to be ergonomic, here's a perfect example. Look at how much room you've got in this area. Nice L-shaped seating. Comfortable for facing forward, talking to the captain, or recline and watch the wake shrinking off in the distance. Over on the port side, a very roomy head compartment. Plenty of room for doing whatever you need to do here. Now, the sheer volume of this compartment lends itself nicely to a storage compartment, and that's convenient because there's also a lock on the door. Now, I'd like to see a magnetic catch holding this door in the open position. It would also prevent the key from hitting the side of the bulkhead here. And here's a nice touch, a solar-powered ventilation fan. Underneath the helm, another storage compartment. Even something as simple as this, the opening is gasketed all the way around. And you're into the bow area, very roomy. The seats are very comfortable for facing each other without knocking knees. I like the way the cushions come up high enough to make a comfortable armrest, and you've got a comfortable grab rail just outside the seat back. Now, because this boat lends itself so well to family and fishing, I'd like to see the addition of a pedestal table here, and I did find it on the options list. These two compartments are connected to each other. Fenders, lines, extra gear, in addition to the anchor pulpit. And Glacier Bay thoughtfully recognized the need for having 1, 2, 3, 4 cleats on each side of the boat. Well, that's our look at the features and details of the Glacier Bay Renegade 2740. For BoatTest.com, I'm Captain Steve. We'll see you on the water.